All right, we're live again for another episode of The Corner. What's up, guys? We got, hello, Jameski. We got Jameski. We got Pipski. It's first now I'm realizing that your names is rhyming.
Oh, it's just James.
Yeah.
All right. And we got my co-host, Troy Tortuga over here.
The turtle.
The turtle,
back
yeah.
from vacation. Always comes late out the gate, but always finishes first.
Indeed, man. It's like, I don't know, like, do you guys like want to hear a story?
Do it up.
Sure.
So, like in the weekend, we recorded a live. Or I don't know, like if you can call it live, but we recorded an episode in his town where we were going pub to pub. I don't know, like how
pub to pub is a lot to say. We went to street food, which is like there's this food market where there's a lot of different takeaway joints
and also beers.
Food there.
And also beers, man.
And beers,
but
and then we went to a pub after, so and McDonald's,
but
right?
man, like
McDonald's.
don't forget, like to mention when I came to this dude's apartment, and like he shows me his next door neighbor, like across the hall from his apartment, and I'm like, what the fuck? And it looks like his blood spread all over that door. Holy shit, man!
And my initial reaction when I saw this on the day before Patrick even came was, why didn't you tell me you were here yesterday, dude?
Yeah. And, you know, like, and as we were like leaving, as we were like heading out at I don't know, like 5:45 or something, 5:45 p.m. This very, very tired looking, long-haired looking dude comes out to me like, "Oh fuck, what happened to my door, yo?" Holy shit, man! For asking us like if we knew anything about this, man.
So I actually offered him that if we didn't have to go to the city, I would have helped him clean it because I'm like, fuck, man, if this happened to me, I would be fucking infuriated.
I was like prepared to interrupt you and say like, nope, we don't got time for that. We gotta make the bus in 2 minutes.
Yeah. But fuck, man, I'm like, what must go on in people's heads to take fucking marinara sauce or ketchup or whatever the fuck that was and just smear it on some random guy's door?
I don't know. I mean, like, if the dude's been out the night before and he has pissed somebody off or pissed some ex-girlfriend off or something, you know, like happens.
That was my initial thought too. Like, he must have known the people who did this, because you wouldn't do this to some random person. Like, fuck, man.
No, of course not. But like, if you do that, then you would do like the whole corridor, right? Then you would do every door.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Well, but yeah, it was like interesting to say the least. And then we get there and we have a few beers and some food and all that, experiencing a big city by night. And
What city?
This was Aarhus in Denmark.
It's the second largest city in Denmark. It's a lot smaller than Copenhagen, though. But we still, I still keep saying that we gotta promote as a person who's lived here for 4 years. I always keep promoting it because Copenhagen gets all the attention of Denmark, and whenever tourists go to Denmark, they always assume, oh, Copenhagen, that's Denmark. But it's not. It's really not.
But
how many people live there?
300,000.
Oh, snap.
350,000. And Copenhagen is like 1 million. So, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's because we have this huge decentralization going on in Denmark, where everybody just wants to go to Copenhagen. And
yeah, it's like that in Hungary, too.
Yeah.
Like, have tons of people in Budapest, and then like Debrecen is 200,000 people.
Yeah, like
largest city.
That's also like where all the jobs gets concentrated too, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But
Debrecen's trying to do like get more jobs here stuff, which is cool.
Yeah, the downside to that, of course, is that the rent prices go fucking nuts there.
Well,
I
that's
mean-
why you need to implement rent control.
For
Like
sure,
Germany did.
Yeah, but you can only do that to a certain extent. I mean, the more people that come there, after all, then the rent control can only take you so far.
Nah,
I mean, yeah,
man.
we have rent control in California, and I mean, I'm sure you've heard. It's
Free, not great.
not great.
Nah, but like then it's being like done wrong because in Berlin, you have rent control so that you have like families being able to rent 100 square meter apartment for less than 1,500 euros close to city center.
But Berlin is also much larger than Copenhagen. It is like I don't even know. I think it's
3.5 million.
Four times.
3.5 million. Yeah,
Yeah, but no, not just the population, but the area is much larger than Copenhagen too, because there's so many people that are spread out, and probably because of the rent control as well.
Oh yeah,
So
man.
Berlin is, I think, 4 times larger in area size than Copenhagen.
Yeah, man. I don't know.
Let me just check that. No, wow, it's fucking 9 times larger than
Yeah.
Copenhagen.
Yeah, well, like that
Fuck,
doesn't surprise me. Like you're right. Like it is big because when you enter Berlin, like the outskirts, then you're fucking far from the city center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Aarhus is wow, Aarhus is but that's because they calculate the bigger areas in as well. So that's around the same as Copenhagen. But yeah, just imagine like when you want to study in Berlin and you live like on the outskirts, it will take you probably 2 or 3 hours by bus to get there.
Yeah, but if you're studying in Berlin, you can easily afford a student apartment in the city, in the center.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I mean, like shit. I was on sightseeing and I went on tour to the Scandinavian embassies. And this Danish girl that was like working at the embassy was renting 50 square meters close to city center in Berlin for, I don't know, like 800 euros. No, it was less. It was like 600-700 euros.
That's still a lot a month.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, if you were to compare that, like, with renting as a 50 square meter in fucking Copenhagen, then no. Then it would have been like, then it would have been like 3,000 a month.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But that's again because of the decentralization in Copenhagen. Everybody needs to go there, and nobody wants to live in the county of Denmark.
Well, I do. I live in the boonies, man.
Yeah, me too, man. I actually recently just for the other guys here who are in. I moved from the city center in Aarhus to a very little thing outside, like 18 kilometers from the center.
He moved to like a suburb, but the thing is that there is the suburb where he's living, and then there's farmland, and then there's the big city.
Yeah.
Um,
And there's buses going like every hour, so it's like I don't mind it.
Yeah, you still have a decent travel time to it, I think.
Yeah. Plus, as Ross says it in Friends, I've been given the gift of time, so you can just read on the bus or do whatever you feel like to educate yourself while you sit in the bus there.
And guys, like, guess how much he's paying in rent? Because like that's little.
Yeah.
He lives in like a 20 square meter student dorm room.
Wait, Russ? Oh,
No,
yeah,
you,
right.
you man,
Oh, right.
you man.
right,
Like we're
right.
talking about you.
Oh, okay.
Like because you're paying something absurdly little as 200 euros a month.
Yeah. Definitely.
That's nuts.
Wait,
Just-
seriously?
Yeah.
What the? What? How many rooms you got?
He only got,
got one room.
He got like the one
small kitchen and one quite large bathroom actually. So
You live by yourself?
yeah, I live by myself.
Damn, that's nice.
Yeah, it is like
Eat your heart out, New York City.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. But it is a little annoying because like you have to either take like for some people it would be annoying that they had to take the bus for 1 hour or take the bike. But like I don't mind it, as I say. Like I don't know, man. Maybe Danish people are just more used to living close to the city than you guys. I don't know about that. I don't know how it is in Canada. Like, do you usually...
I'll be right back, Troy. Like in 2 minutes or so. Just carry on.
Oh yeah. No, do you usually live far away from the city or close?
I prefer living far away, but I grew up in boondocks nowhere. So that's a
right.
preference of boondocks nowhere, but it was still like $1,000 a month in upstate New York. And then like in Debrecen, it's about 500 euros a month or whatever.
But that must also be like cars are also much cheaper in Canada and the US than they are here, right?
No. Oh my God. Boy, let me tell you, like I was looking at cars around in Hungary. It's so cheap. It's ridiculous. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Because like the parts and shit, like
Or-
everything's made here. Like Germany
Yeah.
sends like all the shit to be made in Hungary so they can actually put it in Germany or the UK or wherever the fuck these cars are going. So cars in Hungary are mad cheap.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
They don't
but
need
that,
cars because
yeah.
they fucking have great transport.
Right, you're from Hungary. I forgot. I forgot about that. I actually listened to the podcast you did with Patrick here. The other, like, I don't know what you were talking about. But yeah, you mentioned you were from Hungary. But yeah, like, but that's just my point. That when cars are very cheap in your country, then it will also be more expensive for the rent when you live outside the city, because then people can just afford to drive every day. But if cars here cost like what 60,000 dollars, then not a lot of people will have a car, especially not students, and it'll actually be more inconvenient to live outside the city, and that's why it's so cheap out here.
That's the problem of New York City is like you move to New York City so you can make all the money, right? You make like whatever, $50,000 a year,
Yeah.
but you're paying like $3,000 for a 1-bedroom, whatever that you have with your friend, and you can never save up money. Like you
No.
built this prison for yourself that you moved into. And you can't move out. It's like you're saving like $100 a month, maybe if you're lucky, if you're even making that much, you know. And all these people that are like, well, if you're working as a bartender, you make, so much money. It's like, no, you're not. Okay. If being a bartender or being a waitress or being a whatever was so great, everyone would be doing it.
Yeah.
And
I'd
it's
definitely
not.
be a bartender if I thought it paid well, but
Yeah.
But I mean, of course, New York is also an extreme case. I think I don't think there's any city like New York out there that has this big of a problem with rent.
I want to shoot in though that it looked like the bartenders in the movie Coyote Ugly was like doing all right. If anyone remember that one.
isn't that a movie?
Yeah, that's a movie. With,
Yeah, Coyote Ugly. That was actually shot in one of my back home where I'm from.
that was a great movie.
Right.
That was a great movie. But yeah, they were earning.
What is it about for
It's
people
about like
like
free.
me who haven't watched it?
It's about like free girls bartending in New York and earning bank on serving alcohol / I don't know, stripping, not stripping, but exotic dancing while exotic dancing on the bar tables while
It was
pouring.
basically the how to be a bartender of bartending. Like if someone buys you a drink, if someone at the bar buys a drink for the bartender, you always buy that drink. You take it. but you don't pour vodka, you pour water, and you just fucking all night. You take those drinks, take your top off, whatever.
Wow. What an existence. Yeah.
Man, what a cowboy life.
I'm actually, right now that we're talking about like extreme existences, I mean, this is probably a leap in topics, but whatever, I'm just going with it anyway. Because like I'm watching a documentary on one of the Danish programs on the Danish special forces within the military. So this is not just the normal military. This is like the elite forces. It's actually supposed to be according to the documentary, it's the hardest military education in the world. It's called Jägerkorpset.
Yeah, equal to the SEALs.
Yeah, equal to the SEALs, but this is still a little bit more extreme because they're also not only are they inserted into covert and military ops, but they're also like trained in like apparently really, really tough terrain situations and that stuff. Apparently, it's supposed to be much harder than Navy SEALs even.
I'm sorry for giving a little bit critique here, but aren't all special forces trained for the toughness and hard terrain stuff in hairy situations?
Yeah, but not everything. Not the water, not the land, not the Rocky Mountains. Everything. Like
right.
I would assume that you have like the Navy SEAls are mostly for water.
No, dude. Like there is like there is like SEAls in the Middle East too, in the desert. Yeah.
SEAL Team 6 or
they're everywhere, right. and they train for all these situations.
Okay. Well, I that was an oversight on my part, but anyway, like apparently it is part of the world's hardest educations, at least. But I gotta just say, from just looking at this documentary, the way these instructors speak to these they call them aspiranter, these fucking trainees that are going through this training program. It's like you can't have that in society.
No,
like they're like arrogant, stuck up. They're like trying to humiliate them at any possible points, just to make them feel worthless, to try to like actually force them out of the program because they only want the best.
I will say though that you can kind of compare the way they talk to, I know this sounds horrible, the way they talk to people in those kind of programs and people in the military in general, that yelling and the degrading. It's like that's kind of the same way head chefs talk to other people in the kitchen.
Absolutely.
Like that's what they're talking about when they say, fucking, if you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen. Like that's the heat they're talking about.
Right.
Like,
yeah, but that's also wrong.
Not
in my
just head
opinion.
chef to cook, but cook to cook. Like cooks will fucking go at it at each other, like at each other's neck.
I just got like flashbacks to watching Hell's Kitchen with Gordon Ramsay yelling.
Gordon Ramsay was fucking going light on them, like for real.
Yeah.
These guys that are crying and stuff on TV, I'm like, nah, there's no way. They knew that guy was gonna cry on TV. That's why they put him there.
Yeah,
man. I would like to see Gordon Ramsay in one of these special forces.
I think he would do fine with people yelling at him.
No. I think he would be a plugged chicken by the end of day 14.
I think you could take it. You have to be able, in order to know what kind of horrible shit to say, you have to have put up with that kind of shit for a while.
I don't know, man.
I'm sorry, like I got muted there in my recording for a little bit, but I was going to say he has kind of like been through it himself when he himself was a beginner's chef in Paris, right?
I mean, now Gordon Ramsay's a celebrity. Nobody's going to yell at him.
No.
I mean,
no.
You never know. Not with
No,
his kids.
Yeah.
He's getting a special treatment.
Yeah, he's getting all the yelling that he did to other people. He's getting paid back by his kids now. So that's karma for you.
But like, I think that I'm like thinking about this, that if you take like these instructors that you're talking about in the military, I'm imagining them to be totally different when they are at home with their families. And then I believe like they just shut it off, and then like they are family man Smith instead of drill instructor or Sergeant Smith, right?
I mean, you can only hope that. I don't hope that he yells like that at his kids, because it's not a good way to raise your kids. Obviously,
I imagine they might take like some of the stuff that they have going on at home and just like pour it into the guys they're yelling at, for drilling.
Oh yeah.
Of course. So it actually makes their home life better, because you're not yelling at your wife and your kids. You're yelling at this, bozo that can't do a push-up.
Right, they're getting the release that they can't get out on their family. They're getting that out on work. Yeah.
But you can get your release a lot of different ways. I mean, you don't even have to yell at people. You can just do extreme sport. You can do boxing. You can run. You can there's so many different ways you can do it.
I would say that all those things are different comparing to taking it out on another human being. It just gives like a different effect for you.
Yeah, but you like. I don't. That's just basically. I don't think it's even necessary to ever yell at anyone. I believe the release of tension must there must be really a lot of issues wrong with you in order to have to yell at another person. That you otherwise wouldn't have been able to release by talking about it with other humans, and that's, for instance, the reason that is where discussions come in, like discussions around the dinner table, or just like in general, just talking some things through with your spouse. Like doing that is all like what you call it, preventative measures, right? To avoid this release that is yelling. I'm very much strong, and that coupled with the tension release associated with running and doing extreme sport, then you will have a much more harmonious and peaceful life, rather than this fucking aggression that comes out because you aren't able to deal with it in another way.
Yeah. I don't know why I keep circling back to that. Like this isn't out yet, but we talked about this a little bit in at your place. But I was saying back then how it is when you are retired, right? You're nothing. Because when you're working and you got your career going on, you're doing the hustle to real life and stuff like that, that's everything for you. That's everything for most people,
But now we actually got some other people here who we can ask about this. Yeah. What do you got? Because I strongly disagree on this point. That's for sure.
I think it depends on what you're retiring from.
Okay. Yeah.
If you're a retired football player, you're still somebody,
Yeah, but let's say
if Ronaldo retired, he would still be fucking Ronaldo.
Let's say you were a manager for fucking Walmart for 20 years, and then you retire. What are you after that?
You still have the connections within Walmart.
I don't think so. Because
you do. I think if someone's looking for a job, they can still come to you, and you could say, "Oh yeah, I know the new manager there. I could see if he could hook you up with some kind of whatever."
I don't know.
Probably still shop at Walmart, and people still know you there, unless it's been a decade or 2 decades after you retired. Maybe you're not anyone anymore. But it depends on how frequent and how prevalent you are in the community.
In all the places that I've been at where somebody has retired or quit or whatever, then these person are completely forgotten about after 6 months, after 1 month. After a week, they're forgotten about.
No.
Forgotten
There's a lot of
about,
places.
never
You know
been
what
speaking
people
about.
do? You know what people do? Like, let's say you have a job. You're at a job for like, let's say 2 or 3 years, right? And then you leave. The minute you leave, everyone's talking about you. And they're still talking to you, especially if you were a great person to work with. They're talking with you 3 years later about you. 3 years later, remember that time so and so did such and such, and he used to do such and such.
No. You've forgotten about
for sure.
instantly.
Yeah, 100%.
Heavily depends on like what line of work you're in.
For sure.
I've yet to experience that in the warehouse business. That people are forgotten about after a week. Now, okay, maybe like that was a stretch. That was a month. But when I was in the construction business, people were forgotten about after a week. And part of like this culture that I dislike is that you're not even told when somebody quits. You're asked around, like after 2 weeks or something, because you think that person is on vacation, and you think like, and you ask eventually somebody, and the question is like, what the fuck happened to that guy? And it's like, oh, fired or quit, stop, call it whatever you like.
But still, it's still quite of a leap to go from this and being like the topic of being remembered by your peers with whom you've worked with, to saying that you are nothing when you retire. That's two different things, because you will still have family, you will still have friends, most likely. It is a very rare case where somebody retires and just doesn't have anybody, and is a homeless dude.
Let's connect this. Let's connect this to the part where we also talked about in the previously podcasts, with that society looks at fucking unemployed people like they're criminals, right?
They do. I think it depends on their situation individually. I think overall, for sure, people say unemployed. But I think in general, like if you look at it person by person, if I was talking to like you and you were unemployed for 3 months because you used to work at, I don't know, you lifted potatoes or something, and now you're unemployed for the summer for whatever reason. I don't look at you lesser. Most people won't look at you lesser because there's no job available for you to lift more potatoes for now.
Society in general don't understand that. Society would say like, why the fuck don't you got a job? Yeah. Why don't you got a job? Why aren't you paying taxes? Right?
You're still paying taxes. Please, you're still like day to day. You still have to buy food and clothing and all this shit. So you're still doing the sales tax and shit.
But you're not contributing in the big aspect of like income tax.
I mean, you are contributing because you're paying sales tax and stuff. And I think that's a lot of things that people don't consider.
They don't consider that. But like my question here is like, what separates a retired person from an unemployed person? They're both not
retired. Like, for instance, let me just take as an example my grandparents. They're very wealthy living in Germany because they have both their pension and their retirement funds.
They're unemployed.
They've been saved up. They're not unemployed. They're retired, and they are living. They're living the life. My grandfather is doing his tomatoes every season that they come up. And he's harvesting all those. That keeps him pretty busy. They're looking forward to every time my family and me, we come down there to visit them.
They're unemployed.
Fuck that. Like they're still my point is they're still something for my family and me, because we enjoy spending time with them, and they enjoy having us around. So that is still, sure, they don't make money for society, but they're still there for us as a vacation retreat and like
helping with kids.
Yeah, helping with kids and just conversations.
Okay,
with them.
Let me ask you like one simple question then. At all your family gatherings with your family, have you ever been questioned about your course of study and future life plans regarding jobs?
Yeah, by my super rich, arrogant uncle, who is also very. Ironically, he's almost as money obsessed as you usually tend to be. So yeah, that's the only one who's actually ever asked me about it. But the rest of my family is just like, no, as long as I'm just happy and coming up with interesting points of view at our family gatherings and participating in the family, then they don't care what the fuck I do.
Damn.
Except for my uncle, who's also a money obsessed fat.
I didn't realize that it was only one person in your entire family that questioned this. I realized it was him, but goddamn.
It's always those guys that are like, these guys that are like, do you have a job? What are you doing education-wise? And it's like, they don't have a job. They're retired. Always. They always have fuck tons of money, and they're like, I pulled myself up by my bootstraps, but really, your dad paid off your student loan debt, bought you a house, but now they want to tell you how to live your life.
Right.
But they're not going to help you do it. You just have to figure it out, son. Pull yourself up.
Well, in this case, my uncle is actually he's childless. He doesn't have kids, and he is a full-time engineer and travels the world and has frequently been to Dubai and all these.
So his job is actually his entire fucking life.
Yeah,
right.
And but then again, he has a wife who is unemployed, and she basically consumes money like 3 kids would consume. So,
yeah, but that's the trophy wife, right?
Yeah, it is. So yeah, I mean, he also has his problems. I mean, like, nobody is perfect, I guess.
Man. I really want to learn how to become a better person, like your family seems to be. But that's a long way from here.
Apart from my uncle, apart from my uncle, nobody in my family is actually really that obsessed with money. And I wouldn't even say that my uncle is that, because I mean, he just makes the money, but like he also does a lot of volunteer work for the church and his Christian community. So like I wouldn't even say that there's anyone in my family who's that like obsessed with money, or like buying new stuff, new shit.
I don't know.
People like in my family, it's just all about like having interesting conversations around the dinner table, buying some wine. Not the most expensive wine, it just needs to get the job done, and then you just have a nice time playing cards while you just talk about life and everything and just keep the conversation going. No need to spend like a 10,000 on a new camping wagon or whatever.
Wow. God damn, man. I could just like see myself like telling that to my father and would just instantly be shut down and being told like, that's weakness, son.
And how many friends does your dad have?
Probably nobody.
Except for those hookers in Shanghai.
A fuck ton of enemies, but no friends, yeah.
Fuck, man. Nah, man, I don't know. What, like, Jameski, do you have a take on this?
Sorry, I wasn't listening just now.
No, that's okay. It was just if you had a take on it, that would be fine. But yeah, like, I don't know. I've just always been more of a people person than a money person. Like,
yeah, man, and that's why I needed you with me on the town that night. Yeah.
So, but it was nice hearing or being in the same discussion room with Pipski and Jameski here. I really appreciate that. Like, because I did enjoy the last episode that I listened to. I listened to more frequent episodes now because of my long commuting time, and you guys actually had some very interesting takes on what was it? I can't remember it now, but it was interesting to listen to.
Like we talked
about
about
economics, military. I have some strong opinions on
probably.
those.
Yeah.
Probably.
It does.
I got a degree in economics just so I could tell all these people that are like, you don't need to raise the minimum wage. So I could tell them they're wrong. That's why.
Yeah.
Right.
And I can tell them how they're wrong mathematically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Man.
No, that's not why I got it, but
Oh,
I like
yeah,
that I can do that.
It was Monkey Joe's bar.
Monkey Joe's bar in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was
Right.
awesome. It's an awesome bar.
That was
Man,
so
like-
nice.
Yeah, we talked about like the street opened up.
Yeah, the wall opened up onto
Yeah.
the street. It was fucking amazing.
Wow.
Hong Kong, man, I'm telling you, that's the city. That's the city of the people.
But isn't Hong Kong
No.
like the most expensive real estate in the world?
Plausibly, I don't know. I know in Roppongi you could like fold up a $100 bill and put it on the ground, and the ground would still be worth more than the $100 bill.
Fold up $100 bill.
Fold it up real tiny and put it on the ground.
$100 bill.
$100 bill.
Okay.
Wow.
That's how expensive Roppongi is in Japan.
Wow. God damn.
Now that you mention that, I was talking to some of these other minor students the other day because I'm starting a new minor in English literature, and we were talking about what countries in the world do you think you could leave your wallet in a park on the grass lawn, and you would get it returned the next day.
Singapore.
Probably Japan.
Singapore.
Really? You think
Yeah.
Singapore?
Yeah. 100%.
Plausible. I mean,
100%, because you take, like, imagine it, you take, maybe you wouldn't get it returned, but if you went there the next day, it would either still fucking be there or it would be in the police station. Yeah.
Singapore is like fucking. I don't know if you guys have seen Monk, but in the beginning of Monk, where he's walking through the perfect neighborhood and everything is clean and everything is
Talking about
perfect.
the OCD detective guy.
Yeah, the OCD
Mm.
detective guy.
Yes, I've
Everything is
seen that
clean and
show.
everything is perfect and everyone is nice. That's what
Right.
Singapore is not like. It's like fucking utopia when you're walking around.
Yeah.
It's
But-
crazy. It's like I'm looking around like, why is everything so perfect?
But if you,
But
if
their
you,
laws are pretty stringent.
yeah,
Like,
if you fuck up, that's what I was going to say. That if you are going to the park and you're like, oh shit, free wallet, I'm gonna just take that, and this gets caught on camera, which is most likely will, since this is Singapore. You will almost immediately be sentenced to 10 whiplashes to the bone in public, right? So that's why I'm like asking again, like, who the fuck is going to be dumb enough to pick up that wallet?
yeah, like you can't chew gum in public because they don't want to spit on the ground in public. You can't
No.
spit in public. This one was crazy to me. This was the like
Yeah.
like reverse
well,
psychology bullshit.
I
Like
mean,
you,
I would have been arrested like hundreds of times if I lived in Singapore.
The thing is though that
because I-
chewing gum has been made illegal in Singapore. You can only get it on prescription by the pharmacy now.
yeah, like so you can't spit in public. So this was crazy to me. You go in the women's bathroom and all these women are like spitting on the ground in the bathroom. I'm just like, why? What is this reverse psychology bullshit that's happening?
Yeah, well, like where are they going to spit?
Wow,
Well,
I could not live there.
pretty
that's for
crazy,
sure.
but you know, like good food and clean water for sure.
But yeah, no, I was bringing up the thing with the wallet because that happened to one of those minor students that I was talking with just a couple of weeks ago, where they left it in a park in Aarhus. I think it was actually in the very center, and they went to the police station, or they got a call from the police station 1 week later, and they told her, "Yeah, we can see your ID here in your wallet, that you lost this down in the park. Would you please come pick it up the day after?" And then she returned it, and there was not even any money missing. I don't think so. So like the whole thing was still there.
All right, let me ask you like all of you this question, and then we go like by the clock. So you first, Troy. If you found a duffel bag on the train or on the bus with $500,000 in it, are you going to return that to the police station, or are you going to bring it home and stash it under your bed?
Well, depends. I mean, are we talking actual bucks, dollars, or are we talking our currency?
Well, let's just say like our currency or euros, you know, like whatever you can use.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know right now.
Are these like neatly stacked dollar bills?
They're totally clean, with like a bank branding on them and everything, you know.
I would probably.
I mean, if
They
they
came
had
from a
trackers,
bank.
you'd have to check if they had the ink thing, you know, like.
They don't have anything. They don't have the ink thing. They don't have anything. They're totally clean.
And that's after.
How would you know that though?
Yeah, how do you know? How do you know
because
to even read it?
Because like you're the person there like after whoever dropped it off, and then you see the bag and your eyes gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and you open it and you're like, holy shit, and you pick up a bundle and you start checking it and there's nothing. It's completely clean.
On the train with everybody there?
No, let's say that you're the only one in the train cart and the train's rolling.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't even know. This is so surreal. It would be such a surreal experience for me. Like, I would just sit there for like, this is literal how I think I would react. I would sit there for 10, 20 minutes just next to it, just like look up at the ceiling and see, are there any cameras in the bus? Because they have these cameras.
Oh, there are for sure
sometimes.
cameras, yeah.
Yeah. And then I would just like be, no, fuck this, man. I'm getting off the bus. Yeah.
Man, like I'd take.
I would take it. I would for sure take it, and I'd probably like. I'd buy some cheap flight somewhere close, and then like get small flights all over the place, and some taxis and stuff. Rent a car, you know. Fuck the system up, driving it around in circles, you know. And then like go to like Argentina or the Cayman Islands or something, and like deposit it into some kind of untrackable bank account.
Mm-hmm.
And then like fucking start a business or something, like reinvest that money like in the stock market or whatever, you know, so you get like $1 million.
Wow.
And then, you know, like in 5 years or something, try to figure out who it belonged to.
Wow, respect though. Like, but still, like after 5 years, you would still give it back.
Wait.
What?
I mean, that sounds like a pretty good plan.
Yeah.
Because then if the money wasn't clean, it's now clean, right? So you might be doing them a favor.
Launder it anyways. I mean,
launder it
anyways. That FBI.
Right.
But this is so much to the theory. I mean, what either of us would do in actual practicality, there's no telling, because there's so many factors that we aren't thinking about right now. I mean, like,
what factors?
Well, like the circumstances in the bus.
Screw the circumstances. Screw who it belonged to.
Are there other people on board? Are there cameras? How does the bag look like?
If there were people there or there weren't people there, if there were cameras or not, I would still probably do the exact same thing. I would drive it around in circles for a while, you know, spend a week driving around in circles, going on cruises, whatever, you know, burn $10,000, flying all over the place, taking taxis, rent cars, and then go to where you're supposed to be going. And fucking launder the money, all of it.
Yeah, well, if it's like the mob's money, you want to stay out of sight for a while.
But okay, the question is not about like that we don't know the factors. The question is that it is a too forced scenario. Like, it is too far out, because this would never happen.
No, it
like,
has happened.
Like, you being on a bus that is completely clean, no cameras, no other people, $125 neatly stacked in a clean duffel bag that has no ink in it.
Man.
Dude, that's never going to happen.
Like,
you never know.
I just, you know, like the reason why I'm asking is because like I just read an article a couple of weeks ago with a couple of like Norwegian hikers that went into the woods somewhere to like check out like this old mine/bunker thing after Second World War, and they came across a duffel bag of like millions, and they decided to turn the fucking thing in. And there sure as shit ain't no cameras in the woods. Yeah, that's the exact same thing. You know?
What the fuck?
What the fuck?
Launder it. What are you doing? Launder
Putting that
it.
money in, the cops are gonna keep it, and they're gonna split it up among
Yeah,
themselves.
of course they are. The cops, of course, are gonna keep it. What?
Yeah.
But the story's not over there. We need more information. This can't be the whole story.
That was the whole story. Like they came across.
Yeah, but
it.
then I don't buy it.
I can send it to you because you're the only one here that understands Norwegian, except for me. But no, like they found it. The guy opened it, and then he gets fucking stressed looking at all the money and calls the police.
Yeah, I can understand that.
No.
Because the money is probably dirty, so it's probably some drug.
So what?
thing, like.
He
Or
said
maybe
it was-
someone robbed a bank or
Yeah, but
something.
so
You don't
what?
know.
Yeah,
So what?
exactly. Like I would not have that. Like,
doesn't matter where it
how are
comes
you even
from.
going? How are you even going to put that? Like use that money? Like imagine you.
You
sit,
launder it. You clean it. You take it.
how?
You bring it.
I'm not.
There are
I'm
so
not-
many ways to launder money, bro.
Oh man.
Yeah,
What do you
but-
think these $1 million paintings are?
Yeah.
That are like pictures of apples.
No,
you
no,
think
no,
that's
that-
clean
I mean,
money? No.
I know.
mean,
okay, hold on.
as
hold
long
on.
as
I
you
know-
have
I
a
know-
clean record, no one's gonna question that. Like, oh, I found the money, I just kept it. I mean, they're not gonna think that you personally stole the money if
No.
you have a clean record or anything like that.
Like,
Well, no, they might think you stole the money. That's why I'm saying you gotta launder it.
You wouldn't have
And then
to.
later
Yeah.
look back and be like,
the
oh, I
problem-
found this money.
the
Well, yeah,
problem
you
is,
should do
I
that
know,
anyway.
I know what money laundering is, but do any of you have experience in money laundering?
No, of course not.
No,
Of
then
course.
it
We've
is.
Nice
seen
try,
it on
FBI.
Exactly, and that's my point. It's one thing. It's one thing to say to yourself, "Yeah, I'll just launder the money," but it is one heck of a lot more hard to actually put that into action, to execute.
I mean, where
the
there is a
idea.
will, there is a way. And
Like-
if there's $1 million
No,
on
no,
the
no.
line, there is a fucking way. Let me tell
There
you.
is
But
like
the thing is, what I'm saying is that there's a big step to go from theorizing like we're doing right now to actually doing the thing. And I believe if you found a duffel bag full of dirty money somewhere in the woods,
I mean, you don't know it's dirty.
yeah, I don't know. Like,
I would
send me the article.
I will send it to you. I would say it doesn't matter where it comes from, and sure, you don't even like have to launder it immediately either. I mean, like you could just stash it, and then you could just take out like portions and portions of it, and then
you
use it for
cannot.
food and gas. And
No
she's like,
way.
yeah, sure.
No way.
Like,
That's how they're going to get you. Like, where is that extra income coming from?
how are they going to look at
You
that?
have to make it look like it's clean money. You have to like open up like by a gas station
But
or
if your purchases,
do
You
not
don't
buy
want
a
to get
brothel.
audited.
They'll always look at the brothel. Do not buy a brothel. Do not buy a nightclub. Do not buy someplace that's obvious. Okay, you have to buy like someplace that's not obvious, like an arcade or some shit. You know, someplace that looks like it's making enough money.
like in Breaking
you know?
Bad, like in
Ladies
Breaking
and
Bad.
gentlemen, like in Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Oh no!
No,
Yeah,
what did they have? They had like a,
In a nail
car
salon.
wash, right?
Yeah, but
Car.
nail
I
salon.
think they tried to get the nail salon, but it didn't work.
Oh.
Shit.
he did.
They
He
ended up doing the
did.
car wash shit.
But my point is, like, money laundering it is illegal in the U.S. and is
It's
in
illegal
Hungary.
everywhere.
Yeah.
It's in Hungary too. So what you're saying here, Pipsky, right now, if I may interject this, is that if you found this duffel bag, you would become a criminal.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You got to move someplace.
So this is
Well, it's questionable, like Argentina, the Cayman Islands, buy your own fucking island, whatever, you know.
So what you're saying is
Buy yourself your
essentially
own country on a piece of trash, whatever.
So the only thing that's standing between you being a criminal and being a law-abiding citizen is $125,000 in cash.
I said half a million.
No.
It said half a million. It said
Half a million. 125.
You know,
Half a million? Yeah, maybe.
you know, like the point is just like, you know, like there is no
You could
right.
make it work with half a mil.
That there is no right or wrong in life, you know. Like at the end, the only one that you're accountable to in the end is yourself. So
but there
it's
is
all
law.
about how much you can
There
live
is-
with.
There is the law,
There is the law, but you know, like
and that is an indication of right or wrong. But like anyway, like
to hell with the law.
We don't have time. We don't have time to go into this, but like I would like to go into this, but I gotta go to bed soon and stuff.
All right,
but
like, we're about to end it anyways.
But like no, to hell with the law. And that quote is said by a dude who read political science and
law,
and dropped out. But maybe, I don't know. Maybe that is actually the reason, because I mean, you failed it, and now you're just like, fuck it.
I mean, like, did any of you like read that article that they sent you about like that woman in the States who defrauded people for $9 billion?
No, which one? I mean,
Elizabeth. Let me see. Like I posted it in Hot Topics. Elizabeth Holmes, right? Disgraced CEO who like defrauded people like for $9 billion, right?
Oh yeah, I was reading about that somewhere.
Right. What was her moral justification of doing that? She's been thinking like fuck all since the beginning, since like starting up this company, since creating a product that she knew didn't work at all, and still kept selling it. And like what's more interesting about this is that she put people like fucking James Mattis on the board of the company, along with other prominent Washington D.C. Politicians.
Just for the listeners, what did Elizabeth Holmes do?
She started a company called Theranos, and the company was like supposed to be like making these nano blood test things, you know, like that you would have a really small drop of blood, and you would be able to test yourself for say 10, 20, 30 different diseases at the same time, right? Point being though, like that this product didn't even exist, and they could never get it to work, and every engineer that ever got close, and any advisor that ever got close to saying that it wouldn't work was just fired. And the whole company was run by a fear culture, so it took a while until it was like finally the curtain comes off, and somebody figures out that like this doesn't work, and the whole company's just a sham. And this woman that we have put on the fucking Forbes worth 9 billion euros is a fraudster. So that what's going on with her now is that she's like going on trial in September or something. But the interesting part here is, do you think that she will be punished? Because there's actually a chance that she can walk away from all of this.
Okay, so she was selling a product that didn't actually do what she said it did, and people were buying it, and she made $9 billion?
Yeah. Well, because like the stock price was pushed up also by people like Joe Biden, who was Obama's vice president at the time, was also speaking warmly and harshly about the company, and that the United States sure needed more people like Elizabeth Holmes, you know.
By the way, I will excuse myself now because I have to go to bed.
Sure.
I get up early tomorrow.
No problem, man.
Has been a pleasure, guys.
Yep.
Hey,
See you.
nice talking to you. Catch you later, fam.
Bye.
Yeah. So by having all these prominent people like talking warmly about her company and how she is going to revolutionize the health industry, then the company gets an estimated worth of like 9 billion.
I mean, if she had some kind of disclosure somewhere in tiny print, you know, she might be able to get away with it.
The thing is,
like you know how Facebook and like Discord and all these places go, we can eliminate your whatever at any time, and not everything will be whatever the fuck we say it is. Like
they don't.
If there's the fine print, you know,
they don't have that. The theory is that her lawyers might try to argue in court in DC in a way to confuse the jurors, and if the jurors can't if the jury can't understand what's going on and like what's really been happening in this fraud case, right? Then they're not
probably won't be.
Yeah, then they won't convict her guilty, right?
Yeah.
Unless they're being convinced on that she took people's money and sold a product that didn't exist. Unless they can be convinced of that. in which case she might go to prison for 20 years. On each count, she would be found guilty.
No, she's rich. Even if she gets,
It'll
even if they
depend
find
on
her
how
guilty,
much they like billionaires or not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I think that, the jury's going to be smart enough to figure it out and be like, we don't like billionaires to begin with, as James has said.
Yeah.
But even if she gets convicted, she's rich. She's going to be playing tennis for 3
Yeah.
years.
Okay,
They don't get in
so
trouble the same way, that's for
Yeah,
sure.
no.
That's your prediction that like she will get 3 years.
Yeah,
and
like
out in one.
fucking Martha Stewart,
Yeah. God damn. Like that. Like I just felt like it was so interesting that when I was like reading that whole article, and then and then just the phrase like might go to prison.
House arrest at best.
Yeah, house arrest at best. Like that. That just like was like what after all the shit that she's done.
That's what I'm saying. Like with the money laundering thing, if you launder, 500,000 and you turn it into like 2 or 3 million, no one's gonna give a shit.
Yeah,
They're gonna like slap you on the wrist and say you're a bad girl, and I'm like, okay, I guess I'll go play tennis for 2 years.
I was like thinking like, where the hell does she get the money to pay for these lawyers if everything is confiscated?
Oh please, she's got money like stashed all over the place.
Yeah.
But
Man,
It's called tax aversion, not tax evasion.
Yeah, for sure. Interesting. All right, we're coming up on an hour here. I think it was a great having you all on.
Be here.
anytime.
That's cool. So got to do this again soon, and I'll post that link and that stuff again in the description, and you guys can check it out when it's done.
Groovy. Thanks,
All right.
man.
Awesome.
And for anybody listening, don't forget to sub. Peace out.
Subscribe.
Subscribe.